So is your life feeling a little bit boring? You might be stuck, or maybe you have a sense of despair. Well, you know what? You're not alone. And today I have 5 practices and tips that you can put into play today to help change up your life a little bit and even make things better. So let's start with tip number 1. You just decide. That's all you really have to do, is make some concrete decisions that you need to change things up. You have to get unstuck. You have to move on. And I really hope by the end of this little heart-to-heart talk that I have with you, you really get some direction and you get some hope as well. However, if at the end of this video you realize that you have deep-rooted problems, maybe it's an addiction, maybe it's a marriage problem, something that goes deeper than what I can help you with, I truly hope that you decide to really get some professional help, because that will also change your life. But what if you know you can do this on your own? You just kind of need a boost. Well, I always keep things really simple, right? So all I'm going to suggest that you do is you get a pad of paper and you write down my life now, the pros and the cons. And that way you're clearly going to see, there are some things that I really have to change, and we're going to get to that, I should say, in just a second. We're going to talk about tip number 2. You want to get out of a life that's boring, predictable, stuck, and maybe even unhealthy for your well-being, both with your mental state and also with your physical state. So here are a few ideas that you can do. Again, I'm going to show these pads of paper because I really think that they help. My routines. So what you're going to do is you're going to write down what you do. You could even do Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. You write them all down here. And then how I'm going to change things up, because you might just find, I know that a lot of my days, I'm in my own business, so a lot of them are just a routine kind of thing. A lot of them I don't want to change, but a lot of the evenings where I'm finding that I'm just stuck, for example, watching TV, watching a streaming service, watching an episode, watching another season, all that sort of thing, even eating a meal with my husband, watching TV. No! I would be writing down here, and we are doing that. Change it up. Go into the dining room. Remember the dining room? and serve a meal there. Have a glass of wine maybe. Make it like dining out, and talk to each other. You can do that as well. And as far as the meals are concerned, you might find out that you're switching things up again. You're not ordering pizza all the time or other unhealthy things from takeout. And what I have done, and I'll just show you this here, I made a binder of all of the recipes that are my favorites. I've got meals in here. I've got dips in here. I have beverages, smoothies, that sort of thing. And of course, I've just a lot of them are just written out, and I just put them in these, acetate covers to keep them whenever I'm spilling something on top. But that's just so handy for me to have to eat healthier, I should say. Another thing that I might want to do, changing my routine. I go for afternoon walks now, and it doesn't really matter what the weather is. I really try to get out there, take some deep breaths, start to breathe in, and find a time that you can take a 15-minute break in your day and just start to get a little bit healthier. And with that, I'm going to move on to tip number 3. Let's talk about what you're wearing. How you look on the outside, how you feel that you look on the outside really does affect what you feel on the inside. Let's take an example. every day you just grab the same old black pants, right? And then, oh yeah, there's that top, I'll wear that top. You find yourself in that kind of, again, you're stuck in that routine. And most of you who know me know that I have another fashion and beauty channel. I've been doing it for 6 years now, helping women with fashion, beauty, makeup. It's called Loving Our Age. And if you stay till the end of this video, you'll see a yellow screen pop up, and I'll have a link to that channel for you. But let's talk about what you're wearing, because I'm wearing purple today. I love wearing purple. It just kind of brightens up my face. If I wore black today, I'd look a lot more sallow, and you know, there's something about wearing something that's updated. I'm not saying change your whole wardrobe, no way, but I'm just saying wear some color, wear some vibrancy, and it doesn't matter about your weight. Don't think about that or how old you are. Just wear something that uplifts you, that even gives you a little bit of a youthful vibe. And the same goes with makeup. You know, you don't have to wear a lot of makeup. My grandmother used to say, put on a little bit of rouge and a little bit of lipstick. You don't have to wear a lot. But you know what? A little bit of mascara, you know, maybe covering up with some concealer underneath our eyes, right? A little bit of lipstick, a little bit of blush. It just, we look in the mirror and go, geez, you know, I look about 5 years younger now. And that's how I feel. You should see me without my makeup. A lot of you have, right? But no, I just feel so good. And go through your makeup. You know, if it's over 4 years old, it might be time to try some new mascara and maybe even get a new haircut. I truly, truly believe that if you are stuck, it affects a lot of what you do. And one of the things is, you know, you just don't have that desire to get dressed up anymore. And I really want you to do that, because I want you to look in the mirror and say, you know what? I look good and I feel good. All right, it's time for me to have a little sip of my Earl Grey tea, and I hope you've got one of your favorite beverages with you too today. That is such good tea. I just love that tea. And thank you for being here with me for these heart-to-heart messages. And thank you so much to all of you who have subscribed. It means so much to me, because I kind of just started on these. So I want to get kind of a window on whether you're enjoying them. And if you are enjoying them and some of the messages are resonating with you, please put it in the comments, or maybe there's some topics that you'd love for me to talk about. And I'm reading all the comments right now. So please just let me know how you feel about that. But for now, oh, and don't forget to wait until the end of the video too. I'm going to have one of those quotes for you, especially on this kind of a subject, on changing your life. So you might want to write it down. But let's get to tip number 4. All right, time for another pad of paper. This one is my life. There you go. What it is now and what it could be. So just write down all the things you're kind of bored with, all the things that making you feel stuck, and then write down what it could be. So I wrote down some ideas here instead of just being idle so much. Yoga. A lot of people do yoga and they absolutely love it. I've done a little bit of it. You might not want to commit to a 6-week yoga class because, you know, it might not be for you, but maybe the YWCA has a program that's free and you can kind of go in and decide whether you like it or not. Or maybe some spas, they do have a little yoga class and you can try it out. I mean, maybe sometimes one class isn't enough, but maybe that's something you'd like to try. Or Tai Chi is another thing that you'd like to try. Also wrote down here pickleball with a question mark. Again, some of these have question marks because I don't know if I can commit the time to pickleball. I don't know if I have the stamina, depending on what kind of team I guess I join. I used to be really good at tennis, but you know, try some of these things out. Golf, there's lots of things where you can just get out there and change your routines, change your weekends, that sort of thing. Now, one of the things that I put an X on, no, I'm not going to do that, is a gym membership. You know, a lot of times I just I don't feel like working out in front of people. Maybe that's just a personal thing. And maybe in your neighborhood, you've gone to the free gym membership and you realize, wow, like it's all 20-year-olds in here. I think they're just trying to find, their next mate or something like that. And it doesn't appeal to you. So before you get stuck into a long membership, that might be something that you might want to try out for a day as a freebie, right? Eating healthier, I wrote that down. There's just so many things that you can add here. Just keep going. Take an afternoon with all of these 3 ideas that I have here on pads of paper and just keep writing. And then it's a snapshot into what your life is like now and how you can change it for the better. You know what? Before we get into tip number 5, let's take a listen to the quote I have for today. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. That's by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Wait a second. Ralph Waldo Emerson. There you go. He's famous. What a great quote. A lot of times we look at our lives and we go, oh my gosh, it could be better. And even sometimes we play the blame game, right? We're blaming other people and that sort of thing. But you've got to decide. You have to decide that you want to make a change. And a lot of the things that I've got mentioned here, they will change your life if you just decide to put them into action. Tip number 5 is get out there. A lot of times I find myself like maybe it's a beautiful weekend and I'm stuck inside. I decided to do some cleaning. Maybe I was watching some TV. Maybe I thought, I better get some paperwork done, on the business. Or I just get sidetracked. Well, you can't get sidetracked. You have to sort of see what you're doing and say to yourself, you know what? I got to get out there. And yesterday was a perfect day for me to just leave the house. And I'm just going to tell you that story. For the most part, I was having a bad day. At the end of the month, we have to cover any overdraft on our business account. So I sent my husband out. He had a personal $1,000 check. He went to the bank and deposited it. For some unknown reason, I decided to check online to see, what the deposit was. He's laughing behind the camera because he knows what happened. The teller put in $100 instead of $1,000. And my husband gets back from the bank. I said, what happened? And then I said, you got to go back to the bank. You got to fix this. And when he went back to the bank, they said, oh no, it's going to take us 7 days to fix this. So I had to find another way to put more money, another $900 onto the account. It was just a nightmare. They say they're going to fix it, but anyway. And then, while he was gone, my computer, it kept on stalling out. I'd turn it off. It would say, I need to do updates. It would do updates for about 45, I don't know if you've had this happen, but 45 minutes. Then I try to do something else, and then it'd say, okay, and then we'd glitchy. I turn it off. I have to do updates again. We're 45 minutes every time it has to do these updates. I needed to get my newsletter out by the end of the month, and I'm trying to get it done. Bottom line is, I couldn't even get it started. And so at 3 p.m., I said to my husband, it's a beautiful day. We're getting out of here. In the past, I would have just remained frustrated. I would have tried to do that newsletter and just realized, by probably 8 p.m. at night that this wasn't working and my whole day would be shot. I probably wouldn't even make dinner. It would just be one of those days. But I've changed. I decided when I find myself all revved up like that, I've got to change my state. So what we did was we just left the house in our car. We've got a convertible, so I think it was the first time this year we put the top down. I just felt the breeze on my face, and it was just beautiful. We went to one of our favorite restaurants, which had a patio, and it was all open. We had chicken wings, we had edamame, we had a couple of beers, a couple of cold beers, and we also had sweet potato fries. And we just sat there, and for the most part, we were just sort of looking at people watching and just enjoying ourselves. And of course, this patio is really close to a beach. So when we were finished, we just sort of went, you know what, let's take a walk down to the beach. And we walked down there, and we sat on a park bench, like almost like two old people, right? And we just were still. We just looked out at the water. We didn't say a word to each other, but we just relaxed, and we let the beauty of the day just unfold in front of us. And then before we went back to the car, we went to a little garden center, and I couldn't believe it. I found all the herbs that I needed. I needed rosemary, I got that. Cilantro, I got that. What else did I get? Basil, I got that, and parsley. So, I mean, here I am walking away with all of the herbs to put in my garden. And what a beautiful, I think it was only about 2 or 3 hours, but what a difference it made to making all of my troubles just kind of melt away. Today, I feel refreshed. And yay, the computer is working right. So I finished writing the script for this, and in a few more minutes, I'm gonna finish that newsletter. And by the way, if you wanna join the newsletter, just look underneath the video description and you'll see a link for that. But boy, changing my state, changing my life a little bit really did help. Now, getting out there, of course, means a lot more than what I just talked about. It could mean, you know, joining a community, or joining a place where there's volunteering, maybe at a retirement home, or maybe at a food bank, or something for yourself, like, as I mentioned, Tai Chi, maybe painting classes, or a book club, or there's so many number of other things where you can just get dressed up and get out the front door. Also, sometimes it's nice, I know I find this, just driving to a small, quaint town and looking at, you know, the various stores. Maybe there's a bakery there and you buy yourself a nice homemade pie, or don't you just love those gift shops in a lot of these places? So that's the kind of ideas that, you know, I'm talking about. And again, on your list, make sure that you write ideas for getting out there and enjoying your days. I truly hope that I helped somebody today with this message. I absolutely love the word decide, because once you have made the decision that you are going to change things and you put things into play, it can change your whole world. And don't forget to do those, you know, pen and paper exercises that I talked about, because they really do help. And of course, you can play this video back a few times and just really kind of change up your life and stay inspired and stay empowered. And until we meet again, I just hope you have a fabulous week, and I'll see you next time.